Good morning, Ultimate Business Support, and welcome to our usual Monday morning coffee chats. And I've been on live stream for the last few minutes just to gather our audience, which we have now. And we've got quite a few of you on the go-to webinar. So these, if you're brand new on the calls, because I have seen a couple of new names that I don't know, these are the Monday morning coffee chats that pretty much happen 9 out of 10 times at 9 a.m. Melbourne time, because sometimes I go on holidays and I don't want to do them on those Mondays. But generally in the pinned post of our Ultimate Business Support group, I will always announce what the next date is, and we pretty much do about 40 odd of these every year. And every week the topic changes. Sometimes we have had special guests who have brought value to these calls, and other times lately I have been on and coming to you each week with a slightly different topic. Hey Gerda, nice to see you there as well on the call. And so guys, if you have comments, if you have opinions, if you have questions, we're just really hanging out here chatting together. It's a two-way conversation. So if you're on GoToWebinar, use the questions box. If you are on obviously live stream, then use your little comments tab, and I will be observing and controlling both spaces to make sure that I cover off and I respond to all the questions or comments, and so that you guys also add value to each other as well. So I'm talking about money blocks and money flows this morning. So why did I bring this topic up? It's because last week everyone kept bringing the money issue around staying in business for the long haul. Seemed that lots of people had been in business for many years. However, it wasn't reflecting in their bank balance. And so I was in a similar situation, obviously trying to work out how to break through to make my business viable and financially abundant, so I can help myself, my family, and then others as well. You know what they say, you put your own mask on in the plane before you can help others. This is so true. And sometimes people have it in reverse order, that actually they're going with obviously this heart that want to help other people, but before they've helped themselves, it's not, it just doesn't work out. And unfortunately, they go back into either having to be employed by someone else and not achieving their passion and their dreams. So I always say, if you're going to go into business to help other people, of course, choose a business first of all that's going to be able to be monetized, and then you can do your hard stuff. So it can all be intertwined together as well from the beginning, but sometimes we just have to make a decision to to go down a path where we know we can financially have a business that's going to look after us, so we can eventually then do things that perhaps we don't need to even be paid for, that might be more philanthropical. Okay, so I have pulled together my top 5 blocks that I have observed either in myself or other people, or things that I have heard. Good morning, Elaine. Great to see you on the call as well. And also the 5 money flows. Now, the blocks, the flows, that can go both ways. Whatever the opposite of the block is, that's the flow, and vice versa. But I try to keep them different so that you, anyway, end up having 10 altogether, what to do, what not to do, right? So let's start this off, because whenever we're doing like a list of amount of things, we always go into so much detail around each of them that we before we know it, it's 9:30 already. Okay, so we're going to go with the blocks. Hey, Francis. No, I don't have a cold. Sometimes in the morning, I might have, I don't know. I don't have a cold at all. All right, so number 1 is a lack of self-belief. Number 1 block, lack of self-belief, is what I have really of value. Now, this tends to come up early on in business, but if you don't shake it off and it's with you for years to follow, then you're always questioning yourself. So people, that's right, I need to warm up. As you say, you're absolutely right. I have been in chill out mode for the last 3 days, and now I'm like, this coffee chat actually gets me warmed up anyway. And I'm in my workout clothes for those of you that can see me on live stream. Okay, so that sort of imposter syndrome. Do I know enough? Am I ready? Is what I've got to say going to be respected or needed by someone else? And I read a quote a few years ago which really put this at rest. And that was, it said something like, there's always someone out there looking for what you've got to offer. And I thought, oh, okay, there's always someone out there looking for what you've got to offer, which means there's always people that don't have the solutions that you've been able to come up with for your own life that they're looking for in their own life. So it's about then figuring out where those people are and being in front of them. When I started out as a coach 6.5 years ago, some of the more successful people there that were training us were saying it's all about certainty and confidence, right? And you would hear this from people. Thanks, Lucy, for all the love hearts. You would hear this from people and they go, it's all about certainty and confidence. And I go, okay, how do I do certainty? How do I do confidence? What does that actually mean? And I worked out after, now that I'm 6.5 years in, and I am certain and I'm confident about what I've got to offer and how highly valued that is, well over and above the calculated price of what people pay us. I was like, okay, so confidence and certainty gets achieved from doing the do. Okay, by just getting out there, talking about my stuff, repetition, 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 action, action, action. And one day you have this deep, ingrained certainty about what you stand for and confidence about what everything you do means. And that doesn't come if you just sit and hide behind a computer and you don't talk to anybody and you don't put yourself out there and you don't kind of externalize what it is that you stand for and who it is that you help. Because the more you externalize the things that you love and that you're passionate about, the more you are going to be able to build confidence and certainty around it. So, and now I'm the one that stands in front of my clients, my students, and I say, guys, confidence and certainty sells. If you're confident, you could sell ice to Eskimos about how valuable that would be in their lives, and you'll be able to communicate, the benefits and all that sort of stuff around what you've got to sell. So, lack of self-belief is the number one block, and you believing that what you've got to offer is really of value. So imposter syndrome exists. We all from time to time go, is really what I'm selling, of value, especially if you're in a service-based industry. It's so not tangible. It's, up there in the air. And, as Donna's dad said, you guys sell hot air. And how do you make hot air sound super valuable? That is by developing your communication skills, because so very few people do is actually externalize what they've got. They know how they can help people, but they can't talk about it. They can't actually put the words to it. Confidence is everything, because usually clients are lacking confidence in the exact area you're specializing in, and they rely on your confidence to boost their own. Absolutely, Amy. And they're looking for you and they're going, I want you to make me feel safe. I want to know that you're going to show me the path and it's going to be clear, and this is why I'm investing in you. And similar thing, why we hire experts to build our pool, to do like stuff, because if we started doing it on our own, it's going to take years and many, many mistakes. So that's why you hire someone to get you from A to B the fastest way possible so you can get on with your life. All right, self-belief is key. Okay, second block is lack of financial smarts, okay? So I've met way more people that don't know they just kind of put these rose-colored glasses on and actually don't realize whether they're living below or above their means, which most of the time would be below, how to segment their money, how to pay themselves first. So there could be, like, for example, someone recently said to me, oh my God, if I made as many sales as you did in the last, say, 10 days, I had a huge period of, say, think I had a $200,000 10-day period in sales. I'd be like out there shopping up a storm. And I go, okay, well, hang on a second. I said, these kind of sales come like the cluster or the snowball effect that can happen. And it happens, you guys, in business in certain periods of the year. Or, my first mentor always said to me, Nat, there's definitely the snowball's going to come. You just wait. And I had to just trust that would happen. As I've progressed in business, there's more snowballs, say every 3-6 months or whatever. But you cannot take that's going to be happening week after week. So if you're financially smart, you realize that, okay, well, yeah, but I can't just go shop up a storm and just go spend $50,000 on luxuries and doodads, as Rich Dad Poor Dad guy would say. And I've got to think about, I've got a family of 5, I've got 3 mortgages, I've got all of the other expenses that are gluing together everything. And just because this has come in the last 10 days, great, this is going to carry us through. So how do you build in those buffers? How do you build in those things that is going to make all of this sustainable? Because after all, my husband doesn't have a day job. He's working in the business together. We have our business that takes care of everybody and everything within our family unit and the people that are helping us around it. So you can't go out there and go, oh, I made lots of sales, let's go shopping, right? And the other thing is, a lot of people don't actually look at their numbers. They don't know what reports, like how much income has come in, how much expenses, GST, what do you have to pay as you go, all this kind of tax stuff and bookkeeping. They don't do their bookkeeping regularly. And by the way, if you don't do it, why is it a block? Because if the universe thinks that you can't control your money and you have got no financial smarts, you know what? It's not going to give you more. Because if it gives you more, you're going to get into a lot of trouble. Had I not put aside a couple of $100,000 to pay my 2 years of tax that we recently had to pay over, like the last 3-month period, there was this whole thing that, the way it was set up. If I didn't put aside money for my GST every 3 months, got to pay about $15,000, all that sort of stuff, I'm not going to get more if I'm not financially smart. Because why would, the universe want you to get into trouble around your finances? So you'll only get as much as you're able to handle and control yourself. Okay, so I'm hoping, sorry, I haven't read the couple of comments. Okay, cool. Awesome. So I'm just, thanks for, I'm just taking note what everyone is saying. What about spending on training and personal development? Francis saying, of course, I spend on training and personal development. Absolutely. I do it all the time. There's a certain budget though for educational expenses. And that was more heavily, so in my first 3 years, I spent probably as much as I have now spent the following 3 years. No, hang on, let me explain that right. So in the first 3 years, let's say I spent about $60,000, I believe, in education and personal development and mentors and trainings and all that sort of stuff. In the last 3.5 years, I've probably spent about $40,000 because I have gotten way too busy in my business so that I have to be. So I'm kind of, Francis and everyone else, I'm learning on the job, if you like. So my training and personal development is happening now more as I am being involved in my business, and I'm adjusting and learning from experience. But don't get me wrong, I'm still investing in those mentors. I'm still investing in the shortcuts and the people who can do stuff that I can't do as well. So that absolutely spending on those things is super, super, super important, because if you do it all on your own and you don't get the people, you're going to just take 10 times longer, if not longer than that. Thank you, Trudy. She said great content. Okay, number 3. I know I could spend so much of time on each of those. Number 3 is lack of love for money. Lack of love for money. Okay, so now you're probably going, okay, well, maybe you were told, not to express any love, that you love money. Maybe you were told that money is dirty, that people who are rich are bad people. We've all heard all of these sayings, okay? So, but think about it this way. If you didn't love and express love towards the people in your life, say your partner, your children, would they stick around? Let's not talk about children because that's a little bit of a different type of love. But someone like a friend or, a partner, a husband, or whoever it is, if you didn't love them, would they stay in your life? I don't think so. So the same thing is around money. Money is energy. If you don't love it, if you think it's dirty, if you think it's bad, if you think you're being a nasty person or someone who's, you have this belief, people are going to think I'm all about the money and all that. You're not going to attract more of it. But if you actually love it and you celebrate the fact when you receive money and that you actually get to help people, because when you receive money, as we say, it's energy. So therefore, people are going to want you're going to give something back to them. You're not taking the money because you're being greedy. You're actually exchanging value. So learn to love money, and if you don't know how to love it, then maybe read up some affirmations and do some work around changing those beliefs around it. And I heard this about 5 or so years ago from another mentor and entrepreneur. As I have said, I've invested in a lot of other people, and he explained it this way, and I go, oh my God, that so makes sense. I have to love it if I want to attract more of it in my life. And it's saying, what are you selling? So for those of you that are maybe on the call who don't know me and don't know what I do, we run ultimate 48-hour author retreats, and we take people away on them and get them to write their books, and we complete them start to finish. So what we sell is really high end. And I guess in a way we're in a boutique style business, and the last 12 months we turned over 1.5 million just running this business from home with my husband. So just so you guys know. All right, so lack of love for money. Number 5 block, let me see. Oh my God, we're halfway in terms of our time. Lack of vision for what you truly want to earn the money to spend it on. Okay, so a lot of people will say, I want to make more money, but actually they have no idea what they want to spend it on. So why would they attract any more money in? I don't know. Well, let me tell you a story. Last year when we were buying this house, I wanted to buy some new furniture. And I thought, okay, I don't want to take it from the core of what the business is. So I'm going to create something new, and I'm going to buy some more furniture for my house. So what will I create? Well, I had this new training room in my house. What is number 4? Lack of vision for what you truly want to spend your money on. Okay, so I'm just giving an example around this. So I thought, you know what? I have a new training room in this house, and I can fit about 10 to 12 people in. So I thought, I'm going to organize and set up a planning day. And if you guys have been on these calls before, you would know that I had just run the last couple of planning days for this year, for next year. But last year, I launched the planning days because I wanted more furniture in my house. So I said that I would do 2 planning days, 9 to 5, and I'll charge $500 and I'll get 10 people in the room. And I only set up 1 to start off with. And it sold like hotcakes. And I got $5,000 for that first day. And then as people were seeing it being executed on Facebook, I put some photos up. Like, oh my God, I would have loved to come to that. Is there another date? And I thought, oh my God. I said, there's so much interest. All right, I'll open another date in a month, and I filled that too. So I generated $10,000 to buy some more new furniture for the house. Then, as I was moving along, I said, okay, so annually I spend about $60,000 to $80,000 in Facebook advertising money, okay, for our business. So my cost that cost me to hire my expert, the ads, all of that sort of stuff. And then I thought, okay, so again, I don't want to dip into the core of what the business is. So I go, what else can I invent that would give me my Facebook advertising money to pay that big bill? And I then decided, well, since the VIP planning days came out so well. And by the way, we ran them just this year as well, and they've now become part of our regular, only 2 days a year to play in the following year with 10 people in each room. And then I decided to launch this face-to-face mastermind group for the whole year this year. And we called it Bums on Seats Mastermind. And I generated all my Facebook advertising money. So why am I telling you these stories? Is because I will, aside from my core offering, I will build other programs and I will create other things because I figure out what I need the money for, and then I work backwards to get it, and I create something to get it for that. So start by visualizing what it is. So number 4 was lack of vision for what you truly want to earn your money to spend it on. Okay, so you got to have a vision in terms of this is what I want to earn the money and this is what I'm going to spend it on. So remember that, and do fun things like I did, and I do it all the time. Like I said to Charlie, let's bring in another Melbourne event. I was just about to go to Europe on the 8th of August this year. And I said, Charlie, let's do another couple of home day events on the 2nd of August. This wasn't even planned. And I said, I think we've got time to do another couple. I need some spending money for Europe, right? So we did, and that's what the sales from those events were, the spending money for Europe. So that's number 4. Okay, number 5 is limiting belief that you must work hard to make lots of money. I had this one, right? I observed my mother work in 3 jobs when I was growing up in Macedonia before she moved here in Australia. She had her 7 till 3 day job, because back then they used to start 7 till 3, not 9 till 5. Then she'd come home and then she'd draw these crosswords that they used to take photos on and put them in the magazines. And then she'd go and be a bingo call out girl. So, over there it was called tombola. Yeah, and the thing would come up with the air, and then she'd pull out the number and say what the number is. And she'd get home like at 11 p.m. and I'd kind of fend for myself. My grandma lived a couple of streets away, so I could walk across there. But I observed my mum through my childhood work very hard for a very, very average middle class lifestyle. Yeah, so we weren't even rich. You wouldn't say we were rich. We were just average middle class, making ends meet, and her paying off quite a few different loans for a car and the apartment. Like, she achieved lots of things on her own, but she worked bloody hard. And at moments in my business in the first 3 years, I was just like, oh my God, I'm just reproducing this, because I hardly saw my son, who was 18 months old when I started out my business, hardly hung out with my husband. I was just like focus. And I was, without much, I guess, as we say, results. I was like, my husband used to say, you know what, you're working. I think you're working for about 5 cents per hour right now, the amount of effort. So you don't have to work hard to make lots of money, but you do need to work hard to get things off the ground and to set things up, because as you work out how to be more streamlined and how to work less. Nowadays we work 4 days a week, Monday to Thursday. We have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, unless we're going to retreat like this weekend to execute our high-end program. But realistically, we take 4 months off a year and we still generate the same revenue, and of course 10, 15 times the revenue than in the first 3 years, if not more. I haven't done all the sums, by working so much less, because of course you implement systems, you outsource things that you're not good at doing, and you streamline everything, and you continue to be financially smart, so that you continue to attract and have that sustainability in your business. All right, so we've covered off the blocks. Now we're going to go into the flows. So, of course, the opposite. These are all things that you can be working on to improve your ability to attract money. So, of course, the opposite of a block is a flow. So, how do you create that in your own life? Now, number 1 flow: contentment and gratitude for what you have. Okay. I know many people who are in day jobs and they have their businesses, and they just go, oh, I just hate going in there. I wish I could just work on my business. And when I was in that position myself, in the first 13 months, I was still in my day job and I really wanted to just transition into my business. My mentor at the same time said to me, Nat, until the day you're just content with it is what it is right now and are just grateful for all of the things that you have in your life, that's the day that it's going to just come in and the timing will be right for you to, transition from one to the other. When I had this resistance against my day job, when I had this resistance against things that were just like not business, nothing was working. It was like pushing really hard uphill. But the moment I decided, you know what, I'll just take it one day at a time and whatever's right, it'll just synchronistically occur when the time is right. And what I've learned very much, and that's why I'm saying here, gratitude is to be super grateful for everything that I have right now. Because when I focus on gratitude and appreciation and I have faith, there is no fear. Because fear is the complete opposite of gratitude, appreciation, and faith. You cannot focus on fear if you focus on those other three, or one of the other three, right? Because they live in opposite sides of the brain. And in business, we have to have faith. We cannot, it's not like a day job where the paycheck's going to come around and that you're pretty safe, however much safe. So, so gratitude, appreciation, and faith are the opposite of fear, and make sure that you're content and grateful for what you already have in order to allow for new things to come into your life. Number 2 flow is planning on how and why you want to make money. Okay, so it's great. A lot of people go, but I have my why, I have my why, I have my why. My wife's going to drive me. Amy saying, don't ever resent the day of small beginnings. Don't ever resent the day. Yeah, absolutely. Be always grateful for all of those things and what you learned. So planning on how and why you want to make money. So we spoke a little bit about the why before. So why do you want to make X amount, and how much money is it going to take for you to have the abundance that you imagine in every way in your life, right? So planning, so people are good in terms of saying, I know my why and I can communicate it. And sometimes you may not know your why. So I generally say then chunk yourself up and keep asking yourself, for what purpose do I want this? For what purpose? And what would that give me? And what would that give me? And what would that give me, until you arrive at the highest level of what that why is. But many people fail to work backwards and then go, okay, well, this is my why, but how am I going to achieve it? Okay, so if I need to make $100,000 a year, what does that mean? How many events do I have to host? How many networking events do I have to go at? How many prospect meetings do I have to have? How many clients do I have to sign up? In what program? And how much is that worth? This is what we were doing in those planning days that I was just telling you about recently. And just just before that, I had invented last year. And when people come to them, and I still cannot believe that they don't do that. I mean, I didn't. I've only known this now the last 4 years, that marketing and planning to have a 7-figure business, a 6-figure business, requires you pulling out your 2017 calendar. I'm just showing this on the live stream. This is all of my 2017. It's planned out exactly where I'm going to be, what I'm going to do, what state, when I'm going to have holidays. Those big blue lines are all holidays, you guys. Okay? So everything is planned out. My 2016's up there, and it's got all of the different ticks right next to all of the things that have already happened. And what I always say is, what gets scheduled gets done. And if you have a schedule like that, you're not going to be ad hoc. Things are going to happen, and you're not going to guess if you're going to get money flowing in. It's a numbers game, and sometimes some of these events and things will be more abundant or successful, and other times you might walk away with zero, which has happened to me 2 or 3 times this year. Yet other times, I've walked away with amazing results. But overall, if I even it out over the 12 months, it's there. It's all there. There is the 1.5 million because it's all planned and in front of my. Sorry, I'm missing a couple of comments. Gratitude places at higher frequency of higher vibration, whereas fear is a low frequency. You're absolutely right, Wisdom. You're absolutely right. Okay, I know we're running out of time. Oh my God! So we're gonna go over 10 minutes. So if you're loving this, you're gonna stay. I know it's 9:30, but I'm gonna cover off everything properly. Actually asking for the sale is number 3. Wow. Who would have thought that money would flow when you ask for the sale? Of course it would. And so many people don't freaking do it. They keep beating around the bush and keep, tiptoeing around. But at one point in time, you have to, not just at one point, all the time, we're all selling ourselves, but then you just have to say, this is what I've got available. Who wants to be? Who wants in? Right? So please do this one. This is like one of the biggest flows. If you want money in the bank and you want money to flow in, you're going to have to ask for the sale. And I know many of you who are listening or who will listen to this recording will know within yourselves if you're doing it enough or not. Because, again, it's going to come in if you have those opportunities, if you've got the prospect conversations and all that sort of stuff. Awesome. Cool. It's all right. Catch up on the recording later on if you have to go. All right, number 4 is happiness and alignment in all other areas of your life. Okay? So you've heard this, if you're not happy in your relationship, if you're not happy how you feel about yourself, your health, how you feel with people around you, like all your areas, that wheel of life, us coaches, learn at the beginning and we work with our clients through that. Unless you have happiness and alignment in all those, and you're then walking into your business feeling open and free and happy, how can that not it's fine if you guys have to go watch the rest of it at another time. How can that not attract people who are actually who would want to be part of your life? Because people can feel when others are happy and content, and they want to be part of that energy, part of that vibration. So that will definitely bring more people in, because they'll want to hang out in that in your system, because the system is also positive for them, and it'll therefore bring in that energy into their life because they're struggling, right? So happiness and alignment in all other areas of your life. And number 5 is self-confidence that you can deal with whatever comes your way. So often people think being in business completely on your own and not having any security around can be bloody scary, right? But there is a point in time when, as we said, the number 1, confidence and certainty is what sells, but also self-confidence for you to know what you need to do if things don't progress in the way you expect them to, right? So self-confidence it's not about confidence in what you can do in your business, but self-confidence is about you trusting yourself that you know what you've got to do. When things stop flowing in your business, is because, write this one down, is because you have stopped doing what you know works. Okay? When things stop flowing in your business, you have stopped doing what you know works. When I had times of where I felt like there was blockages, I had stopped doing. I had stopped going networking. I had stopped looking for opportunities, stopped talking to people, started hiding behind the computer. I stopped doing what I knew worked. Now, if things ever slow down, I know exactly how I need to get this energy back up to get out there and generate the flow again, right? So you know what works for you. And if you don't, then obviously you've got to go through the steps in those first 1 to 3 years to work out what you know really works for you. And when it stops working, you need to go back because you stopped doing it. Okay? So I trust that has been valuable. Those were the 10. I'll just show people on the live stream. I will be posting this up. This has been recording on on YouTube. This has been recording, so it'll convert and I'll post it up on my YouTube channel. And of course, the rest of this will stay as a live stream in our group. But as we finish off, I want to tell you that last week we did start the Ultimate Sales Mastery Formula, and a lot of you guys joined that online workshop. It's a 3-part online workshop, email-driven online workshop. And I've had amazing feedback from people just texting back after they've watched their half-an-hour videos. And I teach about the full sales formula as well as the whole 12 steps in what I'm teaching in this particular workshop. So if you want to catch up with the others because you didn't start on time, you're still welcome to. All you need to private message me is your email if you're not on my database, and I can send you those first couple of videos. And I believe the third one is coming out today, you guys. And I thought I'd finish off on this beautiful quote. Money is energy. Dissolve all your negative beliefs related to money. See it as a loving tool and use it to bring good to the world. So I trust that today has been a valuable call for you. Maybe it's giving you some things you can reflect on and focus on, or reminding you of some stuff that you have stopped doing and that you need to start doing again. Have a wonderful week ahead. I am building up to a big week to our final retreat of the year. Can't wait to assist these authors into completing their books, and you're welcome. Thank you for all the thank yous that are coming through. And yeah, catch whatever you've missed from this on the recordings. And if you want to join us on that particular online workshop, then can't wait to have you on there. So have a great Monday, everybody. Go and hustle. Watch my top. Good things come to those that hustle, right? And I plus have my hustle bra underneath. So I'm double hustling today. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.